So the next concept is the class actions, also called as a class action suit. This is covered by section number 245 of the Companies Act 2013. Before we start with the discussion of section number 245 class actions, let us first try to understand the need for section, why this section came into the provisions. So why this was inserted? This was not there in the old Companies Act being 1956 Act, but it was introduced only in the 2013 Act especially. So what is so great about this concept of class actions? What is the idea of the lawmaker behind bringing this concept into the Companies Act? What could be the idea? So the main idea behind the concept of class actions is Satyam case. Once the Satyam case happened, government want to make a secondary look on how the shareholders and other creditors and depositories or depositors interests are safeguarded by the law. Law is successful in safeguarding the interests of the depositors. If that question is asked, the answer is certainly no in case of Satyam case. When Satyam scandal happened in India, lakhs and crores of rupees was lodged by the shareholders, depositors and creditors of the company as well. But what sort of remedy and what sort of remedial measures the government has taken to protect their interests? Maximum possible what they have done. Auditors were arrested. Directors were arrested. They are debarred from becoming the auditors and directors of any company on this particular globe. So they can't become directors. Okay, you have punished all the wrongdoers. Law is successful in punishing the wrongdoer. Is law successful in bringing out some remedial measures to the shareholders, creditors and depositors? Is the answer right? And the answer is certainly no. The lawmaker was 100% unsuccessful. The old company's law was unsuccessful in punishing the wrongdoers. If something wrong happened, punishing wrongdoer is one idea, protecting the interests of the victim is a second idea. Punishing the wrongdoers, law may be successful to some extent, but when it comes to safeguarding the interests and providing some remedy to the victim, law is 100% unsuccessful. So to be very clear, we can understand certain things. Okay, many acts will come in India like Nirbhaya, etc. If you can observe those acts are very much successful in punishing the wrongdoer. If you do some activity which comes into this Nirbhaya Act, what the government will do? It will definitely hang you, or it will give a life imprisonment, or execution can happen, or shootout will happen like in Telangana. Many things will happen. Okay, but the person has already died, or person was severely victimized. What sort of remedy you are going to bring? So law will be successful in punishing the wrongdoers, but law is not successful in bringing the remedy to the victim. That means one person is a victim already to 4 or 5 persons. Some barbarians are there. To them, a particular lady was fallen into the trap, and try to understand, she was victimized ruthlessly. Now you should understand one important point. Did the government or did any law come forward at the place where it happened? No. Act will be only punishing the wrongdoers. Act has to be written in such a way, and the machinery has to be provided. Machinery does not mean plant and machinery. Machinery means organizational machinery. Machinery should be provided in such a way that it should prevent from happening. That means the chapter name is Prevention of Oppression and Mismanagement. Where is prevention? If you can observe the whole idea and the structural maintenance of this particular chapter, Oppression Mismanagement chapter, what happened? Once you commit a mistake, or once the company do mismanagement, once the company does oppression, I can make a complaint. After taking a complaint, you are doing certain actions under 242 criminal powers. Where is prevention? It is a curative measure. You are curing it. You are not preventing. Real prevention is done through class actions. Class actions is not just a particular section. Now, answer my question. We already completed 241 etc. in prevention of oppression mismanagement chapter. Futuristic acts will be punishable, or present acts? Futuristic acts you cannot punish. Futuristic act you can just make a complaint. I will take an action when it actually occurs. But in class actions, I will take an action against the futuristic oppression, futuristic mismanagement, futuristic frauds, futuristic irregularities, everything. How is it possible? Let us try to understand through class actions. Class actions is such a sections which will punish the wrongdoer and provide a remedial measures also to the victim. So victims are also protected by class actions. Not only one person who made a complaint. Class means a group of people. The action will be taken in favor of a class. That's called as a class action suits. This class action suits is not new in India. It was also there in Code of Civil Procedure. Code of Civil Procedure has a concept called as a public interest litigation. Which litigation? Public interest litigation. Public interest litigation means I need not be the sufferer. If I see the sufferer, I will take an action. Simply, this is a concept of a Janata garage. ఇక్కడ అన్ని రిపేర్లు చేయబడును, నాకేం జరగాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. But if I see some person, nothing need to happen to me. If something happens to a person who is in the immediate proximity to me, I will take an action. We will go further. We will take an action against them. That's how the class actions have actually derived. This is the basic introduction to the class actions. Let's enter into the concept. So class actions is a concept where the technically what we need to understand is section number 245 of the Companies Act 2013 drafted with 10-11 subsections on class actions, which is a very big answer in itself when it comes to examination. But in this session we will try to make it very simple through the charts. I have made almost 8 to 9 charts on class actions to make it more simpler from the examination point of view. A detailed video about class actions, a 2-hour video totally on class actions is already there on the description below. You can click on that and you can revisit to that. This we will do only revision. Okay, sir, I don't know what is a class action. We learned class action but we didn't have any clarity. If that be the case, please click on the description below. You will get a description video. In that amendments video you will see the class actions concept. Okay, so you can revisit there. No, I already know class action, I just want to revise. Listen to this video enough. Okay, so let's start with the video. Now we need to understand how the class actions actually works in India. What is the purpose of a class action? We completed. Now let us try to understand how class actions actually work. Since it is a revision session, don't expect miracles to happen. I just want to tell what is there in the law. Logics, everything you can see in the video for the description connected below. Okay, so this is a revision session. Let's treat it as a revision. Okay, let's start. Class actions. First, let us try to understand the applicability and non-applicability. Section not applicable to banking companies. Okay, and section is applicable only for all the other companies other than banking company. First point completed. Public interest litigation. Who can make an application? Any person can make an application, or group of persons can make an application, or any association can make an application representing these members. Wrong arrow. Representing these members or depositors may make an application under section 245. So may not be understandable at this point. So keep it aside. First, let us complete this area. First one. Who can make a complaint? Members can make a complaint. Depositors can make a complaint. Okay. So let's try to understand this clearly. Members can make a complaint. Depositors. How many members? It depends on the nature of company. Company having share capital, company not having share capital. If it is a company having share capital, 2 persons can make a complaint. Members, depositors. Every member and depositor were given 2 options again. Option 1. 5% of the total number of members or 100 members, whichever is lower, is the option number 1 available. Or option 2. If it is an unlisted company, not less than 5% of the issued capital, listed company, not less than 2% of the issued share capital. If you hold, you can make a class action application. Who? The shareholder. Same with the depositor, 5%, 100 and 5% of the depositors. So this is the idea behind the concept. So option number 1, option number 2. Tell me, in members, how many options are there? 2 options. First one, 5% of the total number of members or 100 members, whichever is lower, or members holding not less than 5% of the issued capital in case of unlisted and 2% in case of a listed, and same for the depositors. Now tell me, these members and depositors can make an application or not? Yes, can make an application. They themselves has to make an application? No. That's what I want to tell. They have to be backed in an application. So everyone who is viewing the video, please get your senses activated properly, listen to the video properly. So I told you already, this is a 99% expected concept for the examination. Public interest litigation. Here we comes. First one, here we come into the concept. Any person backed by the support of these members, group of persons backed by these persons, association backed by these support of these members. That means representing these members or depositors may make an application. You may get it doubt, sir. When members are there, they themselves can make an application. Why they will ask these people? Yes, a good question, and as well as it is a very bad question. Idea behind this is lawmaker is not a fool to write the law just like that. Many a times shareholders and members don't know how legally an application has to be filed. They want to make a complaint, but how to make? They will approach a lawyer. They will ask a lawyer. I am a lawyer, example. Okay, really also. So they come to me. Okay, they come to me. I'm an advocate giving advices. So free advices I will give always, no charge, free of cost. A person came to me. They want to get some legal advice from me. What they asked me, sir, I want to make a complaint on my company and the directors. Immediately, I, being an advocate, asked him, why you want to make an application? What is the need for that purpose? Please tell me the purpose. Immediately, they said that, sir, our company is mismanaged by the directors of the company, so I should take some action. So please take some action against the directors. So I want to make an application. So please tell me the procedure. Advocate will tell, I will tell the procedure. Will you follow properly? No chance. Therefore, do one thing. Write a power of attorney in my favor. I will take the rest. So, how much shareholding you are holding? The other party said 1%. No, this is not an admissible application. Do one thing. Get another some members, either 50 members, 60 members, or some number having 5% if it is listed, 2% if it is a case of unlisted, listed, sorry, 5% in case of unlisted, 2% in case of listed. Bring some members who can satisfy, or bring 100 members, or total number of members of your company is 500. 5% will be taken up. How many? 5%. 5% will come to 25. So at least make 25 members to make an application. Sir, I will bring them, but every 25 has to make. No, I will be making on behalf of all of you. That means in the application form, you 25 people have to sign. On your behalf, I will make an application being an advocate. Now tell me, who made an application? Any person or group of persons, or an association. Sir, what is this association? NGOs will be there. Human Rights Commission will be there. Many kinds of NGOs are there in India. Those NGOs have no work. Pani pata emi leni chala NGOs unnai. So these kind of NGOs are in always they will be looking for some litigations and cases in India to get some money. Those people will also react upon you. So therefore, try to understand backing by these members is important. These members need not personally make an application. Backing these members, any person can make an application. This is not my view. This is said in section 245 subsection number 10. This is a Bail Act intention. So this is taken from a Bail Act. Okay. So next one. Who are entitled to file a class action? Members can make, depositors can also make. First idea completed. Next, guidelines. So revision session, make it a revision session. Always I am making you to remember. So even though you get irritated by my words, I should tell, because people will be always expecting something more in a revision session. This is a revision session. Even then I am making a more interpretation and more revisions here. So please concentrate properly. Guidelines for considering an application by NCLT. First thing, the persons, whenever you make an application, to whom? NCLT, to accept what? Class actions. Immediately NCLT will look into the following issues: whether application is made in good faith or not. First point completed. Next one, proper evidence should be there, and it should not be a personal agenda. Whenever you are making a complaint, that should be a class effect. It should not be a personal effect. For example, there is, for example, I didn't receive dividend when declared. I didn't receive a dividend when declared. Now tell me, whenever you didn't receive a dividend, is there any other alternative plural remedy for that? Yes, there is a remedy. You can make an application before a special court and you can get your remedy done. When there is another chance, why you are coming here? Class action is applicable only when this is a only option available. When multiple chances are there, don't take a class action. Can you deal it personally other than in class actions? Yes, then don't come to class action. Therefore, check whether the class action can be pursued in his own right rather than a class action suit. So that we need to check own right. Next issue, evidence that entire class has an interest. I told you now, just it should not be a personal interest, it should be a interest of the total class you are representing. That means the complaint what you made along with the application for class action should represent the entire class, not just you. Next, check whether, next one. Point is, if it is a ratifiable transaction or if it is a authorizable transaction, then it will not accept an application. So what do you mean by that, sir? I didn't understand. So I will explain one point. See here. There is a company. This company is incorporated in Mumbai. The company objects clause said that this company is having a right to construct real estate projects. Real estate project means apartments, residential plots, etc. This particular company want to construct a flyover which does not fall into the definition of a real estate. Now tell me, this is in the objects clause, not in the objects clause, not in the objects clause. Now tell me, this particular flyover is constructed. Okay, flyover they want to construct. Shareholders came to know. I'm a member. I came to know that company want to do this. Now answer my question clearly. Company want to construct a flyover which is not in objects clause. Now class action suit can be made. Before it happens, I can make an application to NCLT and ask the NCLT to stop that by bringing a stay. Now answer my question clearly. Flyover construction can be stopped on the spot by making this application. Okay. Now answer my question. Two situations can happen. First, application is made by, for example, 150 members. 150 members holding 150 members holding, for example, 90% of the capital. 150 members holding 5% of the capital. Let's take like this. How much capital? 5% of the capital. Now tell me, 90% and 5%. I have taken two examples. Now tell me, 90% don't like it or 5% don't like it. Two situations. If 90% of the members don't like it, okay, don't like it. Now tell me, whenever company want to take an extra object, can it do like that, or it has to alter the capital clause, alter the objects clause, alter the objects clause? To alter objects clause, which resolution is required? Special resolution is required. In a special resolution, if you go through vote by poll, share capital will be calculated. That means substantial portion of capital is in whose hands. If they show of a favor, resolution will be passed. Yes or no? Now tell me, 90% of the capital holders are against to this. Even though you pass an alteration, these people anyway don't like this. Therefore, anyway, this is not a ratifiable transaction. I think everyone understand. So I can't go beyond this in this revision session, but still I will explain once again for your kind clarity. See here, there is a company. In this company, there are 100 members. Let's take two situations. Situation 1, situation 2. Situation 1. In this 100, for example, 80 members made an application, class action application before the NCLT to stop the company to construct flyover which is extraneous to the memorandum of association, ultra-wise. Okay. Next, 10 members made an application, class action application, not to construct a flyover which is against to the MOA. Now answer my question. Every shareholder is knowing about this flyover construction. How many reacted in 100? 80 shareholders reacted. That means if at all company want to construct a flyover, it has to first alter the objects clause. For example, if the objects clause is altered, alteration of objects clause is put up. General meeting called. 100 members attended the meeting. 100 members are there in the company, 100 attended the meeting. Special resolution has to be passed. Yes or no? Special resolution has to be passed. For example, 20 voted against. How many should vote in favor? 60 voted in favor. Now tell me, here 80 are not liking the flyover project. Therefore, they are going for a class action. That means 80 are against means only 20 will favor even if you conduct a general meeting. That means if you conduct a general meeting to alter the objects clause, this alteration will be successful alteration or non-successful alteration. Non-successful alteration. Am I clear or not? Then only class action will be admitted, because application is made by only 10. 10 are against to this flyover construction, therefore they made a class action. How many are not against to this? 90. That means if you conduct a general meeting, these 90 may approve the alteration of objects clause or not. Yes, tribunal will tell that. Try that. Don't come to me for a class action. That means if the transaction is ratifiable within the company, please don't come to me. If the transaction is a non-ratifiable, then I will make an application. So then I will consider your application. That's what he want to tell. Therefore, check whether the cause of action can be authorized or ratified before it occurs. And check whether cause of action can be ratified after it occurs. At least after occurrence, can we ratify or not? Yes, you have to look at it. So these are the things that the NCLT has to be taking into consideration while considering the application. Next, binding effect. Binding effect and other aspects. 245 subsection 6, 8 and 7. So binding effect. Once the class action application is taken by NCLT and judgment is given on class actions, on whom it will be binding? All these people will be bound by it. Company, members, depositors, directors, officers, auditor, audit firm, experts, consultant, advisors and others. If you can observe, these are newly added, which are not there in the normal operation sections. Auditors and audit firm. Full super. That means try to understand clearly. If something happens wrong, auditors and audit firm will also be penalized. They will also have to pay compensation. Okay. So try to understand what I told you at the beginning of the class actions concept. Class action is not just punishing the wrongdoer. It will also provide safeguard to the victim. How safeguard will be provided? All these people will be jointly and severally liable to pay compensation. So therefore, all these people have to pay compensation, joint and several liability of all these people. Sir, 100 crores loss cost, 100 crores you people have to pay. Company, members, depositors, directors, officers, auditors, audit firm, experts, consultant, advisors and others, everyone. Chalo Charlapalli jail. After that, you have to be subsequently providing a remedy for recovery. So next, punishment and consequences of frivolous and vexatious complaint. Now tell me, protection, try to understand clearly. Whenever this class actions is there, immediately what will happen? These people reputation will be severely damaged. Therefore, don't make silly applications as class actions. Therefore, frivolous applications and vexatious application, that means unreasonable complaints made against the auditors, etc., directors, officers, auditors, audit firm, expert, advisors, consultants, etc., tribunal will reject and also ask them to pay compensation of 1 lakh. Who has to pay? The person who is making unnecessary applications. So consequences of contravening the section, penalty chart as already said. So class action remedy to claim compensation. Just now I told you, members and depositors can claim. Audit firm and each auditor, each partner of the audit firm will be liable. They will be liable to pay compensation, damages and other suitable action. Next one. Post effects of admission of a class action. If the class action application is admitted, what will be the immediate effect? First thing, tribunal will bring you onto the road and ask you to stand on the road. Okay? Public notice will be given. Who will issue public notice? NCLT. To inform whom? Members and depositors. About what? Admission of class action application. Consideration of, this is important. So, first I want to explain. First point, many people may get it out. Sir, already there is a section called as section 241, 244, 242. Then why again section 245 is required? Many reasons are there. Just now I told you, compensation payments, futuristic actions, etc. Along with that, there is another important point to consider. What is that important point? Is listen carefully. In 241, 244 eligibility criteria has to be satisfied. There what they said, 100 members or 1/10 of the total number of members, whichever is lower can make, or members holding not less than 1/10 of the issued share capital has to make a complaint. Yes or no? Now answer. Where you have to make? NCLT we need to make. NCLT means there are many benches of NCLT. In Andhra Pradesh it is there, in Telangana state it is there, in Uttar Pradesh it is there, in Maharashtra it is there, in Chhattisgarh it is there. Where to make a complaint? Many areas are there. Therefore, what the law says, the state in which you are there, the jurisdictional NCLT, okay, jurisdictional NCLT, you have to make a application. Now tell me, for example, there are 50 members in Andhra Pradesh state. They want to make an application to the corresponding NCLT AP bench, which is there in Hyderabad. Okay, AP and Telangana shares a single NCLT. So they have to make an application. 50 members. Okay. Now, there are another 30 members from Tamil Nadu state. They will make in their own NCLT. And another 50 members are there from Bangalore. They will make an application to the Karnataka NCLT bench. Now answer my question. 50, 30, 80, 80 plus 50, 130. 130 means it is more than 100 or not. They can make an application under 244 or not. Yes, they can make an application under section 244. Like this, you should not think. 244, you should belong to the same jurisdiction. Yes. And again, for example, this is a one overaction 244 does. Second kind of overaction. Okay, see here. I am holding 12% of the issued share capital. I am from Hyderabad. Now tell me, can I make an application? Yes, I can make an application in 244. Stick on to 244 first. Okay, next. I am making an application for oppression. Next one. Another person is holding 11% of issued share capital. He is from Uttar Pradesh, Lucknow. He also want to make an application to the NCLT, Uttar Pradesh. It is also on the same company. It is also on the same company. For example, let us take Dr. Reddy's. Okay. Dr. Reddy's managing director should not see our video. So with due respect, just one example came into my mind. He is also one of the shareholder. He is from Uttar Pradesh. He is from Lucknow. Dr. Reddy's, he was aggrieved by the performance. He also want to make a complaint. So from Lucknow, he is there. And he also want to make an application against oppression on the same ground. That NCLT will also accept an application. That means on a same company, multiple NCLTs will take an action. Next, 150 members from Maharashtra state, they also made an application in the Bombay NCLT, same oppression complaint. That will also take an application. Now, multiple NCLTs will be working on a same remedy or not. This is the wrong that 244 will generally do. Okay. So, therefore, what the act says is, if the class action suits are filed, for example, two things I can tell. Situation 1, situation 2. Similar, same. I made an application for oppression on a ground. Some other application also came to some NCLT. Some in Hyderabad, some in Uttar Pradesh, some in Prayagraj, some in Chandigarh, some in Goa, some in Rajasthan. Whatever the case may be, wherever NCLT is, multiple applications are there. All similar applications will be summed up into one application. All same applications will be rejected. That means I will accept, but I will not admit it. Since another application on the same ground has come to one NCLT, NCLTs will have a coordination. If Mumbai NCLT accepted class action, action stops there. It will take an action on the company and it will provide remedy to all the shareholders in India. That means you need not again come to another NCLT for the same action. So similar will be added, same will not be entertained. So what are consolidated? Similar. Which jurisdiction? Belonging to any jurisdiction. Any. Appointment of a lead applicant. They can appoint one lead applicant to lead them. Same class actions shall not be allowed. I will accept, but I will not allow it to admit it. So, cost of making application. First, it will be paid by company or a person responsible for oppressive acts. So, grounds of making class action suits and remedies that can be claimed. That means, first thing is, what are the conditions that NCLT will look into to consider application? Second one is, on whom I will take an action. And the third one is, post effects of admission. Now we need to understand on what grounds. Just now we have seen in 241 section 4 grounds, oppressive to any member, public interest, like that, what grounds are to be there to file a class action? First one, all are almost futuristic acts to be done. Those I want to stop. The members or depositors are of an opinion that the affairs of the company are being conducted in a manner prejudicial to the interests of the company or its members or a depositor and seek all or any of the following remedies. All or any. So restrain means stopping the company. Stopping the company means already happened, yet to happen. Restrain the company from committing an ultra vires act. Okay, restrain the company from committing a contravention of MOA AOA, like that. All these things are restraining the company to do something. Okay, you can just stop the video, pause the video, and look into all are certain futuristic actions. Revision session, I told you many number of times. Just have a look into that by pausing the video. Next. So these are the ideas behind the concept of class actions. Okay. This is all about our concept called as prevention of oppression and mismanagement. So as I already said, we can make a very quick revision into the concept. First thing that I want to convey is oppression mismanagement chapter. First one, we started with the meaning of the term oppression. Before that, I said majority rule. Majority rule does have some disadvantages. The disadvantages will be there. The disadvantage is called as an oppression. The term oppression is not defined anywhere in the Companies Act. It depends on the facts and circumstances of each and every individual case. As per the Scottish Company case, it was said that the act will involve something burdensome, harsh, and wrongful. And second one will be Shanti Prasad Jain versus Kalinga Tubes Limited. In that case, it was held that oppression includes a lack of probity and lack of fair dealings in capacity as a member. Elder versus Elder and Watson Limited case, it was held that oppression includes an act which is having an intent to defraud, fraud, misfeasance, or other misconduct. The conduct complained of should be at the lowest involve visible departure from the standards of fair dealing and fair play, on which every shareholder who enters his money with the company is entitled to rely. That's the answer. Even though you don't understand what I said now, go back to the concept. In our classroom notes also it is there. Okay, that we need to write. It is there in the institute key itself. Okay, next issue. Mismanagement means abuse of the management powers becomes a mismanagement. First one, section number 241, subsection number 1, clause number A says that the members of the company has to make a complaint to the NCLT that the affairs of the company have been or are being conducted in a manner prejudicial to the public interest or prejudicial to the interest of him or prejudicial to other member or members or prejudicial to the interest of the company as a whole, or there is a material change which is not brought out in the interest of the creditors, members, or debenture holders, and that change may come either from the change in the management or change in the control and ownership of the company shares. Change in management may come in the change in board of directors or managing director or manager, and the change in control may come from the change in ownership of company shares. And by the reason of such change, it is likely that the affairs of the company will be conducted in a manner prejudicial to the interests of the company or its members. And next one, new amended section says that central government can make an application to the NCLT by making a request to continue with an inquiry against a person and report it back whether he is a fit and proper person to sit in the management. If the person is likely to conduct the business of the company fraudulently with an intent to if he is a breach of trust or breach of duties or misfeasance or other misconduct is conducted in the company, or if the sound business principles and prudent commercial practices are not followed, or the business is conducted in a manner which will cause a serious injury to the industry in which it operates or trade in which it operates, and he is guilty of fraud, etc. In such cases, they can make an application. Central government can push an application to the NCLT, and NCLT will further conduct an inquiry and report back to the central government, and central government will take a necessary action. And the respondent will be that particular the particular person against whom the complaint is being made. Now, the tribunal will take an action under section 242. Tribunal has to believe that the affairs of the company have been or are being conducted in a manner prejudicial to the public interest or to the interest of the members or to any other member of the company or the interest of the company and the members. So, in such a case, and it should justify a winding up, but winding up should not be a remedy. Therefore, I will take certain actions against the oppression. The actions that will be taken against the oppression includes regulation of the conduct of the affairs of the company in future, purchase of the shares of the person who is committing an oppression. Purchase can be made either by the company or by the members. If it is by the company, it will result in reduction of share capital. If it is by the other members, restriction on the transfer of shares. And mismanagement. Terminate, modify, or set aside the agreements between the company managing director or manager. Terminate, modify, or set aside the agreements between company and any other officers not covered above. And fraudulent preference will be misled, and after that recovery of undue gains made by the directors of the company, and removal of the managing director manager, removal of any other director, appointment of managing director manager, and appointment of directors who cannot be removed under section 169, and alteration of articles such that the powers will not be derived to the directors. And the next section 243 says that they shall not be liable for any kind of damages, they cannot claim any kind of compensation, and they may be disqualified for a period not exceeding 5 years. And within 5 years, if they want to become the director in any company, they have to take the leave of tribunal. So this is what we have seen. So after that, the class actions just now we completed. This is the end of oppression mismanagement chapter. Hardly, I didn't start the timer. Hardly it has taken almost 5 minutes to complete. That means If a chapter like operation mismanagement take 5 minutes, even though if it takes another 4 to 5 minutes, 10 minutes it will take, how easily you can complete the entire law syllabus if you go as per a plan I will give you on the third day of our revision session very clearly. How many revisions on each chapter and which chapter has to be revised first, everything I will give you. So please make your comments below in the comments box, which will motivate me to make further videos. So I request everyone to click on the like button if you really like it, and please comment your views in the comments box. It will really motivate me to make some more videos, not just some videos. I will make many videos to serve the total students community. So please comment your view on the comments box. Please like the particular video if you really like it, and subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon to get the frequent updates. Please inform your friends about the channel. Let it get served universally to everyone. Okay, so now we completed another chapter called as operation and mismanagement.